Good morning. Thanks for joining me at Coffee with Kory. A lot of you asked whether or not I shot a deer last weekend, and neither Dad nor I got a deer, but for me it's not about that anymore. It's about getting back home and spending good quality time with Mom and Dad, and seeing a few people in the hometown. On Saturday morning, Dad and I go out to the deer stand, and there's just a billion stars in the sky, and it just you don't really get that as much here in Sioux Falls, and it was quite a treat. So we had a great trip. I got to deliver a few Coffee with Kory mugs, left some with Mom that I know she hopefully delivered some this week and is going to get some more out this weekend. And for anybody else in the hometown that didn't get a Coffee with Kory mug that would like one, we got a few left over, so we can probably get you connected if you'd like to have one. Obviously, it was Thanksgiving this week. It was an outstanding day. We went over to Spencer and Alyssa's house, and 4 of the 5 kids were there. 4 of the 5 grandkids were there. And we always miss Connor and Brandy and Hendrix when they're not able to be with us. But they don't live around here, and it's a little harder to connect. But we had a great day and enjoyed ourselves. Way too much food. It sent me to bed a little earlier even than normal on Thursday night. But still made it to the gym every day this week, and I'm thankful for that. Which we're going to get to a little bit of gratitude here in a few minutes. But I wanted to touch on, I was chatting with one of my realtor friends. It was last week or the week before, and they apparently tuned into Coffee with Kory and made the comment, "Man, you never talk about real estate on Coffee with Kory." And I'm like, well, when I get together with my friends, I've not always talked about real estate. But it did get me to thinking that I wanted to bring this up, because I noticed this the other day. We just did another deal where the point to put the deal together was having myself and the company buy a client's house to allow them to have the down payment to buy the house they wanted to purchase. And I got to thinking about that. I'm going, gosh, how many times have we done that recently? Because it's been a lot. And it's 10 times in the last 6 months we've purchased homes from people to allow them to move on to their next house. And really the reason for that, at least in our local market, and I'm talking to agents all the time, all around the state, and the market has slowed down dramatically. Basically since September-ish, August, it's significantly slower, just not as many buyers in the market. And so the buyers that you do have that have a home to sell, it's a little harder to make that whole deal come together. So here's a shameless plug. You want to talk about real estate? Here's a shameless plug for the experience. We find a way to make it happen. Even if that means we're going to buy your house to allow you to move on to the next one, we can get that done. So call 940-5544 or visit theexperience.com. Talk to one of our team members, and we'll figure out a way to make that happen for you. So I want to touch on what really is probably the main point of our getting together and having coffee this morning. I saw an interview with Michael J. Fox, and I don't know how long ago it was from, but I ran across it, and for those of you who don't know, he was in the Back to the Future movies many years ago, and I think those are probably his most notable work. And just a always baby-faced guy, very vibrant guy, and then he was diagnosed with Parkinson's. He has stayed a little bit in the public eye, and this was an interview that he did that was, frankly, and he acknowledges it in the interview, frankly, it was hard to watch because he has a very hard time controlling his body now due to the Parkinson's disease. But the point of the interview that I really wanted to chat with you about is he said, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. You find something to be thankful for, then you can find something to look forward to, and you carry on.
That's
And
the point. That's the truth. I recognize how hard this is for people, and I recognize how hard it is for me. But I have a certain set of skills that allow me to deal with this stuff. And then I realized with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. I mean, if you can find something to be grateful for, then you find something to look forward to, and you carry on.
Write that down. With gratitude, optimism is sustainable.
And man, I found that to be very powerful from a guy who obviously could really be upset about his life situation as it's ended up. That he obviously needs assistance everywhere he goes now, and like I said, it's hard to watch. But I've encountered people, we all encounter people on a daily basis that have struggles, and sometimes it's not as easy to be as optimistic as you'd like to be and to look forward to things as you'd like to. Maybe even referencing back to the real estate market that I mentioned. It's been a little bit hard to be optimistic as a realtor in the last 6 months or so. But you find those things to be grateful for and that you really appreciate in your life, and that does help the optimism that there's something else out there that is going to make me even more grateful in the days and weeks and years to come. And I thought that was something that it needs to be said, and a good life lesson from Michael J. Fox that I'm hoping that you guys can appreciate as well. So thanks for tuning in and joining me again this weekend, guys. As I often say, I appreciate you very, very much. And this is one of the highlights of my week. So thanks for being here, and I hope to see you again next week at Coffee with Kory.